best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The best day of my life, best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Best day of my life, best day of my life. Watch it shimmer, all the glitter turns to gold. What a picture, see the future now unfold. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Best day of my life, best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Best day of my life, best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
New day coming, got my soul running. Look to bluer skies. Heartbeat drumming, got my blood humming. Feels like I'm a fly. I'm ready for it. I see the clouds breaking over my head, ground shaking under my feet. I got the sun shining on every step, dancing down every street. Yeah, it feels good to be me. Yeah, it feels good to be me. It feels good to be me. Ain't no worries, I don't gotta hurry. Kiss those cares goodbye. Hello, freedom, live what I'm dreaming. On a time to be
Keller Williams, how are we doing today? Thanks, Dylan. Awesome, my friends. Welcome to our April team meeting. I'm not going to complain about the weather because it's pretty awesome, Jen.
pretty
But the
nice,
sun was so bright, we actually had to close the blind. I don't know what that says, but April is a month of, I always find transitioning, and there's some good transitions. How's that for a segue?
That is a good
I had just made that up. We are going to be doing a lot of cool things today, and let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, here's what we're doing, Jen. We always talk about playing big. Jason Abrams has sent us a video about playing small, and it's kind of a really cool take on it, and that's going to come up in a few minutes. Jen, you're going to talk about the impact of community today, as well as, of course, we got our broker of record and the update from Jonathan, mortgage update, as well as a little market mashup. Okay, here's what you need to know about the market mashup. Everyone knows I love stats, and today I think I only have one slide with like maybe one number on it. So we're not doing so much of stats. So yell at me now, get it over with, that's fine. But here's what we're doing, Jen. I've invited Michael Volpe up, one of the leader of our top teams. And Michael and I are gonna have a conversation, Jen, about what's going on in the market, from the number of listings that they have, the buyers that they have, perhaps some objections that they're getting from should I sell now, should I wait, the buyers, all that sort of thing. So here's my task for you guys. If you have questions, think about them, put them into the chat, and we'll make sure that we ask them when Michael's up here, okay? Is that fair? That's good. I think this is a really good, because we could do stats all day, Jen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could. I don't think I could.
No.
You could, though.
There's a time where I got to cut it off.
Yeah.
But I think getting Michael's insight from like what's really going on and conversations, I feel like that's more impactful for just what's going on right now to help out.
Well, it's more of a pulse on the market, what the buyers are saying, what the sellers are saying, what the feedback is on listings, open houses, what's the action. That tells us more than maybe what an average Treb stat is going to tell us about our specific markets, right?
Well said.
And it's also his first time doing this, so let's make sure we have like the hardest questions we can possibly think of, because it just seems like fun to me.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so Michael will only answer hard questions. So there's that. And then Dylan's going to wrap us up with leveraging CMAs. And what we mean by that is we've heard from time to time, whether it's been on stage or different lead gen, great lead gen realtors talking about, I just send my clients a CMA, whether they've asked for it or not.
Yep.
And there's a great opportunity to educate, to incite questions, and Dylan's going to talk about that. Yes, Dylan? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Good stuff. Okay, we need to do a few things, and one of the things, Jen, that we kind of took this year and have done our team meetings a little bit different. A lot of us have been used to our team meetings and celebrating our top agents every month, and what we thought we'd do is just break that up a little bit and do it once a quarter.
Yeah.
So we got a few things that we're going to celebrate today. Our top teams, our top agents, some firsts with KWRC and things like that. So, we ready? We should also, yes, Jonathan, so how come the only people commenting are the people in the room? So if you're online, I encourage you to throw in some comments and say hi to people, connect. That's how we stay connected as well. But moving ahead, Jen, you capped. Let's recognize the people that have capped.
Absolutely. So John Brock, Mike Russo, and Allison Valchap all capped last month.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats,
Yes. First transaction with KWRC.
Yeah,
so this may
it's a
not
good
be
one.
their first transaction, but their first transaction with KWRC. Who do we have there, Jen?
We've got Ashley Lebanov, Brittany Robinson, and Taylor Oak.
Woo. Excellent. Good
Congrats,
stuff.
ladies.
Good stuff. Now, okay, moving on to our top GCI for individual realtors for Q1. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger in case, so everyone can see it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Oh, I'm learning my buttons. This is good. Okay, Jen, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Bart Dresba, Matt DeBerry, Vincent Bongard, Raya Lopizzo, Stuart Madden, Michael Dinner, Adam Ratcliffe, Stuart Coleman, Andrew Wan, and Tracy Kirstein.
Excellent.
Congrats,
Excellent.
everyone.
Yeah, and I love that we're seeing some new names on this. This is
Yeah.
for the entire
Yeah.
quarter, obviously January through the end of March, my friends.
Yeah.
Okay, top groups. So groups is any partnerships or, of course, our teams And who do we got there?
Volpe Alcorn, John Brock Real Estate Partners, Bolton Clements team, Paroff team, Concierge Group, and the Terry Hastings team.
Excellent, excellent. Good stuff. Our video window is covering, but it's all there. Trust me. There we go. Just to prove it. Excellent. Okay, now we got to welcome back somebody, Jen.
We do, yes. Arden Tutmer has heard acknowledging that it wasn't the right fit and reaching out to us and saying, I want to come back and I miss you guys, and we're super pumped to have her back with us.
Excellent.
So welcome back, Arden.
Excellent. Welcome, Arden. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, Jen, talk to us about our events that are coming up here. And when you want me to flip the slide for the Red Day, you let me know.
Okay, sure. So we have two big events coming up this year in the next 2 months that we always have. The first one being our Red Day event on May 9th. We did get that date right this time. Yeah. And then Charity Golf Tournament on June 6th. You can flip to the Red Day one.
Okay.
So for Red Day, we are kind of doing a dual step Red Day this year, which is something we've never done before, but I'm pretty excited about it. On the actual day on May 9th, we will be doing our car washes at our Keswick office as well as at our Aurora office like we have traditionally done. The goal being to raise money for $1 Million Smiles, and we will be doing a playground build with a family through $1 Million Smiles in the second half of the year, probably September, October, when it's not too hot out, but it's still nice weather, and we can get that family lined up. So the goal for our car washes is to raise at least $5,000 for the actual build, and we'll be doing some fundraising prior to that as well. Emily Hulshoff, who is our chair for our culture this year, and Susan Pierce, who's one of the committee members, and a few other people who have stepped up to help. We'll be calling, reaching out. We'll be sending out emails. You guys can make donations. You can donate off of your trades. You can send it out to your database, and they could donate if they want to help support us. And the goal will be that with that $5,000, we're going to build the site, because that's what it costs us just to cover the cost. And then any additional money we raise, we will actually also be partnering with a charity called Kicks for Kids. And it's run and developed by an agent from the Legacies office, and it essentially goes towards providing food, clothing, school supplies, and everything for kids that are coming up in poverty and with less than what the rest of us have been lucky enough and grateful enough to have in our lives. So whatever we have as extra will be that. Last year we raised $8,000 for both events. Our goal is to hit that same number and push it a little higher if we can for this year. So as of today, now that we've announced everything, you'll be getting the opportunity to sign up for one of the car wash sites. You'll be getting the opportunity to donate. We'll be sending out the marketing so that you can promote it to your databases and your networks as well. And let's just work together to have a really phenomenal Red Day, and then a second day later in the year where we can get back together and go to that build site and just give back a little bit more.
I like this idea of 2 days, 2 Red Days.
Yeah.
This might be a thing.
Yeah,
I love it.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
But
this is
so far, so good, yeah.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So
And
again,
then the golf tournament, which is our second event, again, a charity golf tournament. We are partnered with Keller Williams Legacies on this event. The event is on June 6th. It's at Bethesda Grange Golf Course, just off of the highway there, so it's nice and close for a lot of us. I know some people have to drive. I'm going to be honest with everybody, it's not the hardest course in the world. We did that on purpose because a lot of people who come to the events, they're not golfers. It's not a golf competition. We're not trying to figure out who the best golfer is, although I know some people like to do that. We're there to raise money and support a local charity and have a great day. So that's what we're going to be doing. I will get back to you on the final price of the ticket, but it will be less than $200 per golfer. We're going to be sending out the registration forms later today or tomorrow as well. You'll be able to sign up for foursomes. If you register before May, you'll actually get an early bird rate, so you'll get to golf for a little cheaper. If you know anybody who'd like to sponsor the event, please let us know. We are working on getting our whole sponsors covered. And again, our goal there is to raise enough money to make an impact and give back to a charity. We usually set the goal of around $5,000 as our profit that we are able to support a charity with. So that's the plan. So please look for the registrations. If you want to use this to invite your database, if you want to get some face-to-face time on the golf course with some of your top clients, your VIPs, invite them out, please. It's an open golf course. We can have up to 120 golfers, so there's tons of room there for everybody.
excellent, Jen. Yeah, I've shared this in the past. I've invited some of my favorite clients who I want to spend 5 hours with or 6 hours with,
Yeah.
and that's a great way to give back to kind of your client database as well, as Jen said.
Yeah, or your preferred vendors too,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people bring their mortgage brokers, their home inspectors, their stagers, give them a day out, get to spend time on the golf course. There's going to be prizes, there's going to be lots of games, there's going to be silent auction. We got all that stuff going on. So
And we should mention too, Jen, this isn't exclusive just to KW agents. I've invited agents from other offices in the past as well, just to get to know them better and to create
Yep.
better, deeper relationships. So this is a great opportunity to do that. Really great opportunity. Good stuff. Excellent, Jen. Thanks for putting all that together. Okay, my friends, I'm going to hand it over to you. Jen's going to, as we talked about, the importance of, we kind of labeled this your people, or meaning your community.
Yeah.
And you know, who we surround ourselves with matters, right, Jen? So I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right.
Talk to us about why that's so important.
sure, yeah. So Gary asked me to talk about this topic, and I had to do a little thinking on how to make it bigger than what my initial thoughts were. And as some of you know, we've been working a lot to build smaller communities within the brokerage, whether it's our growth coaching group or our PC group or the Simcoe Mastermind or the Upper Canada Mastermind. I haven't announced this yet, but we're going to be starting as of May doing a roundtable in Keswick with the Keswick agents, and Nicole and myself are going to be doing that. So we'll be there once a month with you guys as well. But the vision behind all of this is that, you know, it's very easy to be a lone ranger, right? It's very easy to just stay focused on the work, do the deals, make the money, and everything feels good. But if you're not paying attention to who's around you and the culture you're creating in your own microcosm, when things get hard, you might find yourself a little bit lost and not knowing who to turn to, or not having people there to connect with and pick you up or inspire you or push you a little bit. And one of the things I was thinking of was the best way I can explain this is to just be vulnerable myself and share some insight. And you know, the last year or two, I know Colin has shared this as well. It's been hard on the brokerage side. You know, we've had a lot of changes. The market was changing as well. Agents were struggling. We're all struggling personally. And there's a lot of times that it would have been extremely easy to just kind of go, ugh, whatever, throw in the towel. I can just go back, start selling some houses. I don't love it, but I'm okay at it. I'll make some money. It'll be fine. On those days, those were the days when the people around me reminded me why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I want to continue to work harder, to be better, and to do more and to give back to others. And we all have those days. We all have those moments where we forget, or we're struggling, or it just doesn't feel worth it, right? And I think that the people you surround yourself with are the people that are going to be the ones that help you survive through that, or they're going to be the ones that give you permission to quit. And having permission to quit is probably one of the worst things you can have in your world, especially if it's something you're passionate about or something you're really driven to accomplish or achieve. And for some of us, myself included, you know, what we're maybe currently doing, it's not that we don't love it, but it's a stepping stone to another opportunity. And you still, even though it's not easy to get up every single day and do that thing, when you have people around you that are bolstering you up, that are supporting you and giving you feedback and helping you be better and challenging you, and I mean that, truly challenging you, you know, that is what is going to help you grow, right? And get to that next level. And sometimes we need that because the phase we're in, it's not the one that we're in love with, right? It's not always the moment that we're going, this is exactly what I wanted. It's not always true every day. I wish it would be. That'd be awesome. But it's not, unless we go win the lottery, and even then I don't know if that would be the case, right? So who are the people that are your power? Who are the people that are reminding you to get productive? Who are the people, and I'm looking even in our office, in our room right now, and I'm seeing people sitting together and connect, and I know who those people are. And we had an event yesterday, and Christine, I'm looking at you because I know you were at Ben Oosterveld with Anushka and Megan, and you have that crew, and Anushka was posting about that and talking about how powerful it was to have those people around her, and how it was a good reminder that people are power, right? And proximity is power. You hear Colin say that all the time. It's a very true thing. The opportunities that show up when you surround yourself with the right people are unimaginable sometimes. And there's been often times where, you know, somebody walks into my office and they're like, they just walk in and say, this is what's going on in my world, and whatever they're struggling with, I'm like, I know that person, and I can make that connection, and I can help them resolve that challenge, or I can give them some guidance on who to reach out to or what that might look like. And if you're not showing up, if you're not talking to people, if you're not sharing what's going on in your world, you know, there's days when I walk into Colin's office and I'm just like, what the, add whatever you want there, because I'm just frustrated, or 3 people cancel appointments with me, or something happened in whatever world it was. And that needs to be the moment when the person who I say that to stands up and goes, get back out there, right? Go and do what you're trying to do. I know your goal is bigger than this moment. And if you don't have people in your world that are going to challenge you on that, where are you going to go when things get hard? And I just want you to think about that, and I want you to look at your world and your people and your circle, and I want you to ask 2 questions. One, are they the right people? Are they giving me permission to quit, or are they challenging me to show up on the days I don't want to? And 2, who else do I need in my circle? And if you're not sure or you don't have a circle, please reach out. Please join the communities we have in the brokerage. There's multiple coaching opportunities, and they're free. It doesn't cost you anything, but you get to be a part of a community. And within those communities, you'll find the right people. You'll find, as they say, your tribe of people that think like you, that see the business the way you do, that look at opportunities the way you do, and the people that challenge you to think a little differently, to look at it a little differently, right? To try new things. And it's important to try new things. The questions we have to ask ourselves is, you know, what can I do different now so that at the end of this next quarter, my business will be where I want it to be? And if you're surrounding yourself with only people that are praising you for what you're already doing and not challenging you to do more, how will you know what to do that's different? So who's challenging you daily? Who are your people? Who's your tribe? And if you don't have one, go get one. Because when it's easy and work is simple and the deals are coming and your phone is ringing, you don't really feel the need for other people. And it's comfortable and it's fun. And when things get hard and you look around and you're on your own, that's when it's going to be problematic, because that's when we need people the most. And that's also coincidentally the time when we are less likely to share that we're going through a struggle. So if the people around you don't know you well enough to see that there's a shift and see that there's a change and reach out and go, hey, I need you to show up to this. I need you to come to this event. I need you to meet with me. Let's grab coffee. If you don't have people that can see that, when you're not able to pull yourself out, who's going to be there to do that for you? So as the market continues to shift and as the industry continues to change and we deal with everything we're all dealing with in our personal lives as well as in our business, please think about your people. Put yourself in a position where people know you well enough, be vulnerable enough to say, yeah, I have those bad days. We all do, right? We all do. There's no reason to pretend we don't. And the more you actually are honest about it, the more open you are about it, the more you will attract that like mindset, and that will help you find the people you need. So anyway, go find your people.
Jen, that was outstanding. Here's the thing. I asked her yesterday if we could talk about this, and she's like, oh, okay. I'll give it a couple of minutes. Jen, that was amazing.
Thank you.
That was so good. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's important, and thank you for being vulnerable. Dylan, you and I were sharing about this, and maybe yesterday. How am I going to set this up real fast? Because this is totally off script, and we did about this. If you've ever needed permission to leave people, you don't need permission. You give yourself that permission. And Michelle, my wife, and I had to do that about 8 years ago with a set of friends. We didn't know they were holding us back.
It's okay, Gary. I forgive you.
And that's why we love Jonathan Chan.
Chan's over it. It's like, I've let it go. We've moved on.
I love it. I love it. But that's just the nature of it, right? You surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. What Dylan and I were talking about yesterday is what happened with my daughter on the weekend. She had a big Canadian national cheer competition on 3 teams, did outstanding, got a third, a second, and a first in Canadian nationals, like outstanding. And Dylan and I were talking about, and I was able to share with him that she's moved up a couple of levels this year. And he goes, well, what was the big change? As a coach would ask, right? What was the big change? You know what it is a new voice. It was a different voice in her ear, which meant different people saw the potential in her and gave her a huge opportunity, which then led to more opportunity. And now she's on a World's team going to Orlando at the end of this month. Whereas the previous people in her ear didn't allow that opportunity to happen. So sometimes it's tough to let go of people you really like,
Yeah.
but maybe those people are holding you back.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Good stuff. Really deep, but that's okay.
Sorry, guys, I went deep.
No, this is important. Like a sales meeting shouldn't all be about, hey, here's our sales and here's our numbers and how do we move forward. It needs to, I think, a great, we talk about your people and your community. KWRC is a great community.
Yeah.
And within that, and you might be on the surface of it, and within that, I've met some of my best friends here. They are my best friends here. And of course, I've been here for 11, now going on 12 years. If that doesn't happen after that amount of time, there's a me problem, right? But there's great people that are here to help you move, not in business, but in life.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Jen, thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, where are we going? Jonathan Rhee, our broker of record, he says to me, Garrett, I got some stuff I need to share. So we're going to segue into the compliance side of our sales meeting. I'm going to hand it all over to you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Jen. That was very, very eloquently said.
Yes.
Very deep. Do you like movies, Gary?
I love, you know me, I love movies.
You heard of the movie Back to the Future?
Uh-oh, yes. You're not dating me, are you?
No. We gotta back a little in order to move on to the future. Okay. In previous sessions, we talked about many different things with Tressa, and some of you have lapped it up, and others are, just because of your timing, your business, you haven't really caught up to speed. So we're going to be touching upon a few things that we did in the past. So first of all, I want to mention that on the 24th of April, we're going to have a seminar on the practical. The practical meaning for under Tressa, what it means to do multiple representation or double lending. So, some of us have double lended a deal, or some of us had multiple representations. So under Tressa, what do we do exactly on a practical level? So we'll have a seminar along with some smaller topics, but under Tressa, we'll have that seminar on the 24th of April at 12 p.m. That's a Wednesday, I believe. Okay. Just moving forward, we're going to be talking about the confirmation of cooperation and representation.
Just tap this and that'll bring us first.
Okay. So the confirmation, I've just snipped just the top portions of the forms that I'm going to be talking about. Confirmation of cooperation and representation, there are two different types, one for sellers and buyers, and the other for tenants and landlords. It's okay to use sellers and buyers for tenants and landlords because it does use those words accordingly on the forms. It's totally okay. However, what I want to address is some of you who've either did multiple representations or double-ended the deal didn't know how to fill out the form. So basically, you have to fill out the listing side, the listing brokerage, and then number 2, where it says listing brokerage, multiple representation. Number 3 and 4, you do not touch. We have no cooperating brokerage or cooperating agents. So if you do a multiple representation or if you do a double lending, fill in number 2 and see where it says notes, additional comments and disclosures. Please write in there the fact that you're doing the multiple offer or double lending and how much you're receiving from the sellers. And for the buy side, you can detail it however you want, but we don't write anything for number 3 or number 4 part. A lot of you guys are writing number 4 just because you don't know what else to put because you're representing the buyer side as well as the seller side, but we don't touch that. We also don't sign or initial the cooperating buyer brokerage side. You leave it blank because you're not a cooperating broker. We're not a cooperating broker. We are the listing brokerage and we've double lended. So use just number 1. That's also for the confirmation of cooperation representation for tenant and landlord. It's exactly the same form, except the words tenant and landlord are replaced from buyer and seller. So please keep that in mind. No cooperating brokerage, no cooperating agent. Okay. moving on, designated representation. So this is a new form that we're using. It's a designated representation for the BRA. You don't use the previous form, which is the brokerage designation. This is the designated representation form. It's form number 371. Okay? So on this form, you have to declare you or yourself or the people that you're going to be working with this buyer to be the designated representation. Okay? And then alongside that, you also have to fill in the Schedule A at the very back. Now the new BRAs all have Schedule A's. And the contents of Schedule A is in web forms on the clauses section. I put that in the clauses section, as well as on the template section. You can find it there. You do need to modify that because all of your services are going to be different depending on who you're working with. Some of your, whether it be tenants, whether it be, buyers, sometimes you're just going to do a deal. So all you're doing is writing an offer. So that's a limited type of service that you're providing on the Schedule A. You're not going to use your Schedule A repeatedly with the same or with multiple different types of clients. So make sure that you modify the Schedule A according to the services that you're going to be providing for that client. Okay? And then lastly, we're going to talk about the listing agreement. This is where our agent partners have been having the most trouble or confusion for that matter. We are no longer working with the Form 200, which is a listing agreement. The Form 200 is a listing agreement with the brokerage. You want to use, because our brokerage now is a designated representation brokerage, you want to use the Form 271. Form 271. Okay? That's a listing agreement with a designated representation. Okay? This also has a Schedule A, don't forget. Not every listing is the same. Sometimes you want to limit your services. Sometimes you want to do a full service. Sometimes you want to use a drone. Sometimes you don't. Wasn't there a chocolate commercial with something like that?
Yes.
Anyways, I think it goes something like, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
That's it. Sorry,
the one.
I missed the cue. I missed it badly.
Anyways, Form 271. I would say 99% of the time, our agent partners will be using Form 271 to take a listing. I think from March, or at least April 1st, not an April Fool's Day joke, but April 1st, we've asked the front, our call coordinators, to reject forms that have the previous listing agreements. That means you have to meet your clients a second time to get the forms filled out again. I really don't want you guys to do that. So please use the correct forms for the appropriate transactions and the listings. Okay? And lastly, FinTrack. Okay, on the FinTrack, so many of you have not added the numerical values on the FinTrack. You must do that, or else it'll be rejected by our compliance advisor, Gail. Okay, that's a hard rejection.
That's a hard no.
That's a hard no, yes. So it's a very simple add. If you can't, not that you can't add, but if you can't do that form on paper, please use FinTracker. It's very convenient, it's very easy, and the numbers add on its own depending on what you choose. It's either a yes, no, or a maybe according to the questions that they ask. So please use FinTracker when possible. If not, you'll have to manually add. And if your addition is wrong, it'll be a hard rejection no, right, Gail? On top of that, for those people who are doing corporate deals, you do have to do a corporate FinTrack. However, if it's someone who owns a corporation, a director who has more than 25% or more as a director, they need to do a personal FinTrack. And part of that personal FinTrack is now part of the individual identification information. So you don't have to keep going back and forth to different forms. It's all part of the same form. If you look at it carefully on the second or third page, it has that information that you can add to it, along with other depositors. So if your client is receiving some gift or funds for deposit from their parents or from their children for that matter, there's a section to add their names without having to do additional FinTrack forms separately for additional depositors. I hope we don't have to keep going back and forth on this. However, these are very, very important to your FinTrack safety and to be compliant with RICO. And I really want to be your advocate as a broker of record in doing transactions properly under the RICO guidelines and under TRESA. Okay, thanks very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Where are we heading? We are headed here. Nicole, our mortgage broker, has sent in a video to give us an update of what's going on from her perspective. Just like when Mike and I are going to talk about what's going on in the market, Nicole's great at talking about what's going on in her world on a day-to-day basis. And as some of you know, there's been some changes in the mortgage industry over the last couple of weeks even. And she's going to kind of peel that onion away a little bit on that. So without any further ado, our Nicole, here we go.
Hey guys, good morning. So as you could probably tell by now, I am unfortunately not there in person today. I had every intention of coming and hanging out with you guys and doing this in person, except my day is looking like it's going to be a little bit crazy in preparation for the Love of Real Estate conference tomorrow, which I hope to see many of you guys at as well. So I dropped this video on Gary last minute. Sorry, Gary. But I wanted to make sure I at least gave you guys an update and kept you up to speed with what is happening in my world these days. So I will start by saying we've heard a lot of what seem to be really exciting things and, momentum happening to support and aid first-time homebuyers. You guys know I always keep it real with you, and I will tell you that for the most part, I think it's kind of a whole lot of nothing. It's not something I am excited about, and I'll tell you why. So it was actually funny because we were just chatting about this in one of the group morning calls last week, and I mentioned this. So we're now seeing that there is, for first-time homebuyers, they are now allowed to utilize a 30-year amortization. However, I would have appreciated that it was just full stop right there, 30-year amortization across the board for everyone is what I would have liked to see. That is not what's happening. So it is extremely restrictive, and it's just not really realistic. So for me. So first things first, it is for first-time homebuyers only. Now, that's great, except, if we're putting down less than 20%, currently, you can put down less than 20% even if you're not a first-time homebuyer. So if you're buying a second home and, so you've sold and you're buying another home and you're going to live in that home, you can still put down less than 20% and have an insured mortgage. So that's what I would have preferred to see. But as it stands right now, this program is now only specifically for first-time home buyers. So the first time you're buying a house, and it has to be for new builds, pre-construction, and first-time home buyers only. So here's my other thing. With pre-construction, most of the time, you guys would actually know better than I do, but from what lands on my desk, most of the time, the, sales agreements that I see from the builders are typically 20% anyway. So more often than not, I feel like this is just not going to be that helpful. A step in the right direction, maybe, but I just think it sounds better than it is, and a lot of people won't really understand that there's really no progress there. Additionally, they are now increasing the home buyer plan for RSPs, the limit from $35,000 per person to $60,000. So, short of, doubling it, increasing it, great. Except honestly, again, what comes across my desk, a lot of first-time home buyers don't even have the 35,000, or if they do, it's slightly above that, but definitely not 60 from what I see on a regular basis. So again, it's great, but at the same time, I just think that there are better things that we could have been doing to truly help and support people to get into the market. If people had a lot more money, then things would probably be a little bit easier, but that's not the case. So a couple things that came with this RRSP is that they've extended the time frame in which you have to start repaying it as well. So I am happy about that. That does give people a little bit of some wiggle room there. Currently, the repayment starts, you have 15 years, but the repayment starts 2 years after you withdraw. And right now it's going to 5 years. And so the RRSP stuff is actually starting today, literally today. And the first time home buyer 30-year amortization is starting August 1st. So, take it for what it is. Again, I just think it's the optics of things that, that the powers that be are putting some things in place that, sound better than they actually are. And here's my last point in that. I spoke to this, not too long ago where I said that we're starting to see a lot more consumer confidence, which again is great, except it creates a bit of an issue because we were already starting to see that. We haven't even seen rate drops yet. I do expect that that's going to, again, take longer than what's, sort of been said to date. Still possible for June, July, but again, with, inflation across the board in the US, there's so many other factors that, there's talks that it's going to continue to get pushed and pushed. Regardless, a possible rate drop here and there with the Bank of Canada is not going to make things easier to qualify. And the consumer confidence that we're seeing with all this other sort of, mixed information about it getting easier to qualify and all these kinds of things, it's just going to create, again, a mad dash back to the market, everybody that's been sitting on the fence, which ultimately is great, especially for you guys, right? Because you're seeing more activity, except for me, it doesn't get easier to qualify people and to find them solutions. So this is where, again, you guys are really going to have to make sure that you're aligning yourself with, the right financing partners to make sure that you can get yourself, and your clients to the finish line, because it is only going to continue to get, more challenging to qualify, in my opinion. And you guys, of course, know that the more, activity we see, home prices are going to continue to go up. So if it's not getting easier to challenge, or it's not getting easier to qualify and slightly, more challenging and, potentially higher price points, you guys know how that works. So anyway, if you guys have any questions at all, as always, shoot me a message, give me a call. I'm happy to help, as always. I do hope I see you guys, at least some of you guys tomorrow, but either way, I will see you guys in the weeks to come. Talk to you soon. Have fun.
Excellent. So here's what I know is it's important. We've talked about this over and over again. Whether it's Nicole or your favorite mortgage broker, make sure you are in conversation with your mortgage broker, and make sure, more importantly, your clients are being educated by your mortgage broker, especially one like Nicole, who has tremendous amount of value to offer her clients. Excellent, excellent. Okay, where are we headed? Of course, a lot of us have marketing needs, and putting together, especially as summer's coming, make it bigger. Thank you, Dylan. Make it bigger so we can all see it. Yes, my man. Hey, it's a beautiful day. We should be outside meeting clients. So if you need something printed or anything designed, reach out to Elite Marketing and Jen Gowland of the team there and get something put together, because this is a great opportunity. I bet you go home tonight, and I will guarantee you will be talking to your neighbors, right? Just because of the weather, and have some, maybe you need some marketing pieces, or you want to go get something. You now know where to go. Okay. Next, playing small. So I watched this video from Jason Abrams, and it was something that he did during what we call the growth call, which is typically every Monday for the leadership right across KW. And it's when I first saw it, like, this is not where I thought this was going. Playing small, we're always told the opposite, right? To play big. We got to think big and have big dreams. And Jason's take on it is something that, perhaps for me, it was refreshing in a sense. So You know what? I'm not going to take any of his thunder because it's really, really good. Let Jason talk to us. And here's what it's about 7 minutes long. I apologize for the quality of the video, but I can guarantee you the audio, more importantly, the message is on point. Excellent. Let's go.
Down here, I was thinking about it. I wanted to look small today. And I wanted to look small to demonstrate what I think is going on in the industry. But before I start, I want to read something to you from The One Thing. It's called Going Small. If everyone has the same number of hours in a day, why do some people seem to get so much more done than others? How do they do more, achieve more, earn more, have more? If the time is the currency of achievement, then why are some able to cash in their allotment for more chips than others? The answer is they make getting to the heart of things the approach. Simply said, they go small. When you want the absolute best chance to succeed at anything you want, your approach should always be the same. Go small. So why am I sitting in the back of the studio today? Because in the last 2 weeks, it sure feels like everything got really big. There's so much to talk about. And because there is so much to talk about, oftentimes we end up focusing on the wrong things. You see, the fundamentals of our industry, they didn't change. I was reading MREA over the weekend, which I often do when I feel lost. I consult the map book to make sure that I get back on track. And although no one ever reads this page, it's the one that I read the most often. You see, it's the dedication page. It doesn't have a page number, so nobody ever talks about it. It says the millionaire real estate agent is dedicated to the men and women whose hard work and entrepreneurial spirit place them squarely on the front lines of free enterprise. This book is dedicated to real estate agents everywhere. Puts them squarely on the front lines of free enterprise. I love that idea. You see, the fact of the matter is, our industry is the best damn industry on the planet. And I've never been more proud to be a real estate agent. I say that at a time when the press or others would have you think that we're somehow less than, because we simply help people make what is a tantamount to the largest financial decisions most of them will ever make. You see, selling property, selling real estate is as much of a holy calling as anything else. It's different than selling anything else. You know why? Because no one goes home at night and cuddles up with their stock and bond portfolios. They do, though, cuddle up in their houses. And the kitchens that we have laughter in are the same ones that we have cries in. You see, houses are the backdrop for the American story. They're the backdrop for the human experience. They become the theater for our lives. And yeah, you get to somebody who doesn't get it. And so right now, I feel like it's all too big. And so I was trying to think over the weekend, how do you draw what I'm feeling? And I ended up with this ridiculous drawing, which I did autograph. This is an iceberg. What I did here is I said, you sure have a lot of stuff bubbling underneath the surface. You got rules and you have change and you have this us versus them, which is happening in a whole bunch of different places within this very ecosystem. And you got drama and you have the press and you got the Insta-Twitters and the MySpaces and the social medias, and you have fear and you have confusion and you have other people yelling about new models, even though there was nothing wrong with the old models. And you got noise. And all of this is bubbling underneath the surface of everything that we're doing. And so when I sit in meetings and someone says, well, that's not my problem, Jason, or I didn't create that. Yeah, me neither. But I'm going to be part of solving it. Are you? And I'm speaking to the choir, because y'all solve problems at scale better than any real estate company ever has even considered. So what's the problem that the agent has today that we all should be focusing on? It's that this giant thing happening underneath the surface is underpinning the way they feel about the profession they chose. And if we're not careful, the way they feel starts to impact their activities, and their activities start to recede because people do less of things that they don't feel good about. And people want to own and do more things that they believe in. And so what do they believe in? Well, it's at the very top, and you can't read it because I spelled it all wrong. But I can tell you what it is. It's that at the end of the day, this is a simple business. It's built on two things. Number one, the number of conversations I have about real estate. Every single agent in every single market center could literally wake up and grade their life by that number. And here's what the math says. The math says that depending on your acumen and your ability to have conversations, whether you possess the power to move people into action faster with you than somewhere between 50 and 200 real estate conversations to do a deal. There's nothing new about that math. Heck, Ben Kinney used to tell the story of labeling from 1 to 100 and simply calling in a TCPA-friendly and compliant way 100 people. And if they answered, they got a check mark. And if they didn't, they got an X. And if they set an appointment, they got circled. And here's what he figured out. If I get 56 of them done every day, I'm going to have an appointment. Someone to talk about this thing of ours about. And that hasn't changed. And there's no rule that they're going to pass on any level that's going to change that. It's the most simple and basic concept. I talk to people about real estate. And by the way, you could track the exact same thing to any single person on this call if you were willing to let it get that simple. And then number two, relationships. I'm going to have a certain number of people that I'm going to be in relationship with. And yeah, in books, we call them Mets and we call them not Mets. We call them all this stuff. Let me just make it simple the way that I think about it. Who are the people that wake up thinking about me when they think about real estate? That's it. That group are my people. If you have a phone list of people that don't think about you when they think about real estate, you don't got any people. You just have a phone book. The two things on the top here, they never change. And all the noise around all the things they do, well, it doesn't serve any of you. And so here's what I say. When something isn't serving you, walk away from it. Friends, we'll know in mid-July how all this is going to turn out. And every single day, I'm waking up, Jay's waking up, Gary's waking up, and there's 300 other people at KWRI. They wake up every day with their eye on that ball. I believe you have the best legal department, education department, finance department, coaching department, tech department, health department. I could go on and on and on. I promise you they're on the case. So what should your agents wake up and think about every day? They should think about going small in order to one day earn the right to go big. Going small isn't all this. It's just this. Real estate conversations and relationships, and that isn't changing.
Excellent, my friends. So, like I said, when I watched that, it wasn't where I thought I was going, and it reminded me of the importance of picking up the phone and obviously talking to people. And as Jason alluded to, who are we in conversation with, meaning who are we in relationship with? Because that's what matters, right? That's what matters. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, I'm going to invite our good friend, Mr. Michael Volpe, to come on up. And as I mentioned, all these fancy graphics. Why do I always forget about that one? Here's the thing. Take this microphone.
Where do I stand?
You can stand here. Well, this is different. I never stand over here. We're changing things up, Michael.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. So understanding the market is one thing. And we always talk about, do we want to be in the market? Do we want to be do we want to be on the market or in the markets? As I correct myself, we want to be in the market. We never want to be on the market. And I thought, why don't we invite, Michael, who represents a number of buyers and sellers, who is definitely in the market. And I'm going to ask him a few questions. And if you guys have questions in here or on the chat, let's have them. But here's the number one question I know that Michael gets, that we all get. And I'm gonna go out on a limb, and this isn't to belittle anybody or anything. This is just a matter of experience. And we always get this question: how's the market? And I got to tell you, 9 times out of 10 we answer it incorrectly. Michael, how's the market?
My answer: you're selling or you're buying. That teeter-totters into what situation you're personally in. So, cruising off here.
There you go.
Yeah, market's always good. That's what I say. Depends what you're doing.
See, there you go. Depends what you're doing, which is a leading question to if I have people ask me, how's the market? And if I said it's terrible, yet they're only focused on the condo market in Toronto, that's entirely different, right?
100%. And it really sways their situation when you say that. Like, oh, like, what do you mean? Like, my neighbor said it's terrible, their house isn't selling, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's always good for somebody. And whether it's up, down, sideways, someone's going to benefit from whatever market we're in. You just got to pinpoint it and explain it to them so they understand totally.
Good stuff. Okay, so let's kind of get into the weeds of things a little bit here because obviously there's a lot going on in the market. Treb's going to tell us, or has told us, in the month of March we had a drop in sales and new listings. Yet, and I think I have, I'll pull it up here in just a second. I got stats saying that our values are up. So for the seller that's on the fence at this moment, they're pretty sure they want to sell this spring. What's that conversation look like?
Again, back to what they're doing. Are they, getting something bigger, or are they downsizing? I think that's a really big question to ask, and then to kind of realize, oh, maybe it is a really good time to do this, or maybe I wait and actually hold on. So, you know what? For someone selling a middle unit townhome in Newmarket, drastically overpriced product on the market right now, sell that thing for an extra 100, 150,000, you get a wicked detached. When the market heats up, and yeah, maybe you get an extra 100,000, but that gap's now 300,000 for what you're looking for. So like now is the time to do that. And before I go on that listing appointment, I'll bring them countless examples of why it is a good time. Now, if you're downsizing from a small detached, you want a small bungalow, you might even be out of pocket there because that's such a sought after product. So really just doing some research, bringing some opportunities, I think, for people before you show up to that listing appointment, and show them a good game plan to get them in action.
So the opportunity that I heard there was that entry-level home or thereabouts, that's kind of the one that is selling for the highest dollar amount?
And there's so much competition in that market. Anything under $1 million in new market, like you're 5+ offers on anything on the market right now. And, we just lost out on one that was $900,000, was 1,100 square foot semi. And a detached in the same neighborhood's $1 million. And it's 2,200 square feet. It's literally twice the size for an extra $100,000. So for that person making that jump from the semi to a detached, there's no better time to make that jump.
Love it, love it. Okay, so if you're the opposite, and you touched on it somewhat. If I'm the seller downsizing, do I list now? Do I kind of wait it out to that mid-May market, or is it? Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So again, I think some people we have lots of clients that are selling and now renting. So that might be a time where maybe, you do wait for, maybe rates to go down. You see another bump in the market. You get an extra 150, 200 grand for your house, and then you start renting. But like no one has a crystal ball, and I'm having the conversation with people. There's a lot of renewals coming up. There are people going from 2% to 6% mortgages. Like, what do you think's going to happen? And I explain that to them, and people have no idea. I think people have been in their house for 30 years, how expensive it is to buy a home today. And I'll pull out my mortgage calculator and go through it with them. Like even a $500,000 mortgage today in today's market, people are shocked at what that costs to carry. And so they're like, wow, like if that doesn't get any better anytime soon, and I tell them, I said, as time goes on, you'll get more and more renewals. Like, what do you think's going to happen with inventory? So kind of jumps them into gear that way as well.
And that's interesting. So, and that's the thing too, is we're Jason talked about it. All the noise, and the Twitter noise, and everything else, or the X noise, whatever we're calling it these days. And we're led to believe that, like everyone is over leveraged and things like that. But in most cases, if you lived in your home, if you had a home for 10 or so years or more, you might have 40% loan to value, right?
Probably.
So there's a tremendous amount of equity that's able to move. But if they need to carry another couple of $100,000, that starts to add up,
Definitely,
And that's what I'm hearing, though, is you need to educate your clients on that, yes?
100%, yep.
Yeah, okay, so from the buying perspective, it's kind of the opposite of what we just heard. But talk to me a little bit about some of the hurdles or things like that you're going through with buyers at the moment.
I mean, it's definitely a challenge right now. We're not working with as nearly many first-time home buyers that we have over the past couple years. Basically, interest rates are really hard. Even, we have clients with like really, really good salaries, and they're having trouble making ends meet and trying to buy a house right now. So You know, that one there, we've had conversations about, you know, maybe expanding where they're looking. People from Newmarket, we're pushing them to Holland Landing, we're pushing them to Georgina. Just way better bang for your buck and a lot less competition in those markets. And you get a much better house for, you know, what you pay for a Newmarket. So that's the kind of conversation we're having with our first-time home buyers that, you know, are taking on somewhat of a big mortgage and trying to get them into something nice that they'll actually, you know, be there for quite a while. So it's challenging. There's no question.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
We often talk about how we need to educate our sellers with CMAs and things like that and market analysis. How do you guys do that with the buyers? Because it's just as important, but often overlooked.
100%.
Yeah?
So we basically take the same approach as we would visiting with a seller. Is for any property that my clients want to make an offer on, I'll provide them with a full CMA, just so they know the value as much as we know what we think it is, to help them, you know, actually bid that number that we're giving them, and giving them a realistic price of what that house is going to sell for, and educating them so they feel confident going in at that price.
That's good. That's good. The buyers that you're working with at the moment, are we? And I know this is going to change with who that buyer is, but I think it's important to understand this. Are we selling their home first, or are we buying first?
Great question.
Thank you.
And I always give them the two worst scenarios of both opportunities and see what they, you know, what their risk tolerance is. You know, do you want to, you know, sell your house first, know exactly what you got, know exactly what closing date you have, and then now you're in a position as a buyer to go out and make solid offers? Or, you know, do you buy first, and the chances of getting an SBP on your house, they're slim to nothing, unless you're going to the middle of nowhere. Sure, like you can make that happen. But if you're, you know, staying within York region, you're just going to get beat out every time. You're going to waste our time, your time, everybody's time. And then, you know, if you run the risk of owning two houses if you buy something first and can't sell your house. And, you know, that's really what it is. And what if the market changes, you know, really quickly? And, you know, there was a lot of people in 2017 when they bought first, market was on fire, foreign buyer's tax, whatever that was, that came into play. And there was so many people stuck with two homes and couldn't sell their house, and they had to drop it a couple $100,000 to get it done. So could that happen again? Yeah, anything's possible for sure. So depending on someone's risk tolerance is, I think, what you should do. For sure.
And we only find that out by asking more questions,
100%.
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And I'm curious on strategy from the listing side. And obviously, if we have that entry-level home or a home that's being able to, you can move down to it.
Yep.
It sounds like, okay, let's list it slightly below market value to generate multiple offers.
For sure.
If I have a 4-bedroom home here in Newmarket, it's your typical 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
Yeah.
What am I doing with the pricing strategy?
I think definitely taking like a quick snapshot of what's going on in the market. Like how much competition is there in the market right now? Are there 3 or 4 others like that house on the market at this given time? Do they have offer dates? Are they just listed at a price? Definitely gather as much information to come up with a strategy to give your guys the best advantage going into the market. If there's nothing for sale and the last one had 20 offers that sold down the street, you know you're going to have to hold offers on it. I find right now with people that aren't holding offers, people call you and say, when's the offer date? It's like, well, what are you talking about? There isn't one. And they read the MLS and they still call you. So it's like, I don't know, hindsight's always 20/20, which way was the best way to go with it. But yeah, I mean, it's really challenging sometimes coming up with a good strategy because you get agents calling you, asking you that question. You don't know what to tell them. So yeah, but I find just really depending on current inventory in the neighborhood, I would say use that to your advantage for sure.
Yeah, inventory
Yeah.
levels. Yeah. I'm going to share a slide in just a moment of what I like to share, and I know many of us do here as well. The days on market. The sold to ask price. I thought I had it on a stat here, but I can tell you, for Newmarket and in our areas, Keswick and Aurora, we're at about 100% of the ask price, which leads you to believe a couple of things. Is A, we're pricing things accordingly.
Yeah.
And also, as you mentioned, that entry-level price, you're slightly under and allowing that percentage
They're almost
to come
always
up,
going
right?
over asking.
Yeah,
right now. Yeah.
And what it'll be interesting as we get into our May market and June market, which are 2 of our hottest months of the year typically, how that lines up.
For sure.
So, and what I'm hearing is you just keep eye on the inventory. More importantly, keep eye on your competition, and we're not seeing, like in some cities, we're seeing even 98, 97. I don't think anywhere in the Greater Toronto area we're seeing anything less than 97% of the asking price, unless it's a specific price range of homes, like probably luxury and $3 million and above. But outside of that, you're still seeing the 100%.
100. Yeah. Yeah.
You say it,
Literally,
100%.
Literally. Yeah, you're seeing it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Any other? I kind of got one more question here from Michael. Anything from the audience at this moment? Dylan's
It's a good thing. Yeah.
yeah, just stretch.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. The someone comes to you today is a ready and willing buyer, looking for, and what I'm looking for is the opportunity. Looking to purchase, whether it's Keswick, Barrie, Aurora, you name it. What are you doing with them? Talk to us about that quick, because we get these calls, although we like to get them every day, but we get them sporadically. I'm ready to buy. And I want you to walk us through that quick conversation and how you validate that buyer, because it's important. We often overlook that piece when we're talking about market stats. It's a weird thing to pull in together, but it's important.
Yeah, definitely. First off, I mean, definitely checking what they're finding. Have you talked to the bank? Do you have an actual pre-approval? What are you guys willing to spend? Are you willing to max out your budget? If you found the perfect house, what would you spend on it? Where do you guys work? Are you guys? I would always ask them if they're salaried or if they work for themselves, because I find even when they go for a pre-approval, they're telling them they're gross and they're self-employed, and it's a completely different ballgame. Definitely ask those questions for sure. And then listen to them, see where they want to move, and then based on their work, I would make some suggestions as well. Places that they should go for sure.
Yeah, and you can't make those suggestions unless you are a student of the market, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to share a quick slide here, Mike, and I think this is it. So many of you have seen me share this before, and Mike pretty much said all of it. If we focus on that top right, what to share, the days on market, right?
Yeah.
The months of inventory, the medium area price, and you nail it at the end there is the competition. I think if we kind of focus on those four things, we can remember four things, right? Or at least I can. That's my capacity. If I had to do a fifth thing, forget it. I'm writing it down. Four I can pretty much come up with. That's the information that you need to be leading with your clients, buyers or sellers. And that's how we educate our clients. Good stuff. Anything you want to add to any of this, Mike?
No, use these to your advantage. I mean, they're all on Broker Bay, right? These ones? The Broker Bay stats?
We do have broker-based stats, which is a huge piece here. And I've talked about this in the past at our team meetings. Through Broker Bay, as you know, we can get the number of showings that are happening on a broad range of properties, right? The total offers. I do this.
Yeah.
I'm watching maybe a property that my clients like, and I know we're not going to offer on it, but it's the comp that's just perfect. I want to know how many offers come in on that night.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like and this, especially with Broker Bay, we can watch that. While it's not 100% accurate, it's darn well close.
It's pretty
right?
close, and it's not stuff you're going to find on Treb too.
No.
So use it to your advantage, and most people won't even think to bring these stats. So it just puts you one step further against if they're interviewing anybody else. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All the best. Reach out to Mike. If you want some clarity on some of the things that he was mentioning, reach out to Mike, and I'm sure he's happy to provide that. Good. I'm pressing buttons. There we go. Okay, what's next? We are going to, we talked about this a few times today, and let's make it big. Let's move my video screen. Who's going? There should be some people in here going tomorrow for the love of real estate. Come say hi, connect with us. Colin and I are there with our podcast. We're going to be getting, don't worry, we're going to be getting Jay Papazan and Jeff Glover. And hey, if you want a little cameo on our podcast, come say hi. We can make that happen. But this is a great event. Someone earlier asked, well, what's it going to be like? It's our version. It's the Canadian version. It's our version of family reunion or mega camp. And there's a lot of great other KW agents there. So great way to connect with people. A lot of great guests coming as well. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see everybody there tomorrow morning. All right, my friend, Let's welcome up our good friend, Mr. Dylan Silvernagel. Talk to us a little bit about where the coaching world is, and more importantly, that's a great segue from Mike to the unsolicited CMA.
I was going to say, Mike, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And we do kind of line up today because part of what I'm talking about is, one, a way to get busy and take action in your business so that you're actually talking to clients and hopefully generating some business. I look around the room and I see a lot of people that know how to do deals very, very well. And all we need is find some more clients to do those deals with, right? We know we come from service and we're great at all of that stuff. And then it just comes down to, I need more people to work with. And what I know from talking to a lot of agents since the start of January is that good times create bad habits. We've got a lot of bad habits that we have stopped doing the things that were making us money prior to a super hot market where all you had to do was just sit back and your phone was going to ring because somebody wanted to buy a house. So what can we do today to generate some more activity, to get in touch with people in our sphere, and how can we leverage that activity so that it's not just about the phone calls that we make and the clients that we're talking to, but also so that we get a little bit more reach because we don't always feel like we have enough hours in the day. But like Gary was talking about with that video from Jason Abrams, is if I just focus on the amount of conversations that I have to book those appointments, I know that the rest is going to follow. And so the thing I want to talk about today as we focus on positive habits and what can you reintroduce into your business to make sure that you're generating leads, that you're finding people to work with. And that comes straight from Ninja Selling. If you guys haven't checked out this book, I highly recommend it. Ninja Selling is basically like a guide on how to be a fantastic real estate agent and how to find some business. Buy the audiobook, buy the book, and just live by this thing, because I promise you it will get you in the right mindset. It will give you the tools you need. But the focus for today is going to be on success habit number 7, which is one of the daily habits, which is creating 2 live real estate reviews every day. Your goal is to just keep calling until you book one of these reviews. And you may have heard them by other names: unsolicited CMAs, equity reports, home evaluation equity report, or home equity updates. And the idea is that you're reaching out to your sphere, to your leads, past clients, people you know, and you're offering an update on the equity in their home or the value of their home. And the reason that I want you to think about this, or the mindset that I want you guys to have around this for your profession, is that your relationship with your clients and your friends is that of a trusted real estate advisor. And all the true professionals are offering those annual checkups. Your doctor's got a checkup. Your dentist has a checkup. Your financial advisor has a checkup. So are you a professional in the eyes of your client and showing up and having those annual reviews? And Gary, I wrote it down, and I love this from Jason's thing today. Who are the people that think about me when they think about real estate, right? If they're not thinking about you, it doesn't matter the names in your database. You've got a phone book. You don't have those relationships. And what better way can I think of to be thought of as the expert than offering these reviews with your clients? And so, sounds simple enough, right? It is. It honestly is. I don't want you to get lost in the how of I'm going to do this. Just think I'm calling and I'm offering these reviews. Hey, Jennifer, it's been a year since we spoke, and part of the services that I offer to you guys every year is an annual update on the value of your house. When would be a good time for us to go to sit down and have a coffee or get some breakfast and review that for you? I'll bring everything over, and breakfast or coffee's on me. What's a good day to do that? If they can't meet in person, that's totally okay. I encourage you, do not email it. It will get lost in the email. Make sure you print a hard copy and send it that way. And this is a tried, tested, and true strategy. So I've actually got some statistics for you right from Ninja Selling. And they found that face-to-face reviews are going to result in business 30% of the time. And so that whether that's a buy, a sell, or even more likely, it's going to be a referral. Because look at the service that you are providing, and are they getting that from their realtor, right? And what we know, why we encourage you to book any appointment, convert when you're sitting in front of somebody across a table, right? You connect. Yeah, everything changes when you're in front of somebody. And so that's why we want to make sure that we're actually booking these appointments. And what Michael Volpe was talking about is he's coming to those appointments with opportunity. And we've been talking about this since the beginning of the year, that right now in this market, it's a perfect time to help those move up buyers, right? We're seeing townhomes selling at great prices. Detached market had been struggling for a little while. That gap is closed. Even though you're taking on a little bit more debt or at a little bit higher of an interest rate than you would like, when the market does turn back around, that gap is going to grow like this. It's going to be that much harder. And we know that those interest rates aren't going to come down too quickly. So take advantage of that opportunity now. And if you can bring the opportunity, all the more likely that they're going to be ready to take action. So I encourage you to start building this habit back into your life, back into your daily routine. Now, the standard for ninja selling is 2 a day. You choose your standard. It's up to you. You honestly, you know your bandwidth, you choose your standard. But look at the difference. I divided that by 2. I hope I did the math on this. I did not do the math on this, but say you did just one a day, so you did 5 a week, and then you've got your, 52 weeks a year, or we want to take some vacation time, right? Jen, thank you. I see you getting the calculator out. Please save me here and do some math. Yeah, what do you got? 260?
240, but
Yeah. Say you sat down with 240 people this year to give them an annual review on their home. Do you think you would be the professional that they thought about when it came time to think about real estate? When they saw a home for sale, would you not be the one that they would call and say, hey, it was Susan that gave me the review, that she sat down, she's the professional that I know is watching the neighborhood for me and watching out for me. Imagine what that could do to your business to just implement those annual reviews.
It's also 79 transactions at 33%.
79 transactions at 33%. Look at the power of just this one strong habit can do for you. And now I wanted to talk about how you can leverage it. So you've got this CMA, it's already done. Post on Facebook, hey, I just did an annual equity review for my clients, and I found that they, since they bought their home, it's been up 150%. In the last 5 years, they're up 50% on their home equity. Think of the power they can do. When was the last time you had a home equity review, and can I prepare one for you? Post that on Facebook. Now go on to Instagram, create a story, and do a poll. I just did this. So-and-so found out that their home equity has gone up X amount. Would you be interested in doing this? And I encourage you, when you put yes and no's, don't do yes and no's. We don't care about people that don't want this. We want yes and yeses. So yes, or yes, but I'm a buyer. Give me a neighborhood report, right? So I want to give people an easy way to interact with me that now I can slide into their DMs and ask for their address if I don't have it yet, or say, hey, Susan, great that you raised your hand. I'm going to send you something this week. When's the best time for us to meet? So again, yes and yes. Carla.
You know what I find works good? More info.
Yeah.
Instead of putting no, you just say, can you elaborate more info? More people
Yes.
get more info than they do.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, thank you. I love that option. So the idea is that don't put an answer down there that's going to, if I'm going to click no, I might as well just not interact. Give them another option to interact with you so their hand gets raised and you can see them in your behind the scenes in your Instagram.
Repeat that idea.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Gary. The suggestion there from Carla was putting more info instead of no as the other option, so that it gives them the opportunity to say, hey, what exactly are you talking about? Let's get into a conversation here. I want some more information. So you've posted on Facebook. You've now done an easy poll on Instagram. You can do it around houses that you have just listed. You can do it around places that you are farming. You create one for the house that I just sold with Gary, and now I'm going to go knock on all those neighbors' houses and let them know that I provide an annual review for my client that we just sold. Would you be interested in a copy? And when can I come over to show you it? Next one, email marketing. The same review that you've already done. Blast it out to your database. If you're sending out regular emails, which we should all be doing, at the very least a monthly newsletter, if not bi-weekly updates, bi-weekly communication with them, have a call to action at the very bottom. P.S. For all my favorite clients, I offer an annual review on their home equity. If you're interested in this, reply yes. Right? There's so many ways that you can leverage this one tool to get into conversation with people. And so that's my pitch for today. That's the thing that I'd like you guys to start implementing back into your business and building good habits. And a quick shout out to to Jen, I loved your quote about, I know your goal is bigger than this moment. I think that that is fantastic. And that is both positive and negative. I was in a coaching appointment on Monday, and the agent is absolutely crushing it this year, having an amazing time. And he's like, I'm trying not to ride the highs too high because I also have lows. I had a client, or not a client, but a lead in my farm that was like my raving fan and called me just yesterday to say, I just want you to know, not be surprised when you see the sign go up, but we listed with somebody else, right? So the highs are great. The lows are there too. Don't let it be the end all be all. Your goal is bigger than this moment, whether it be a high or a low. So huge shout out there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to add to that, to your CMA.
Yeah, please.
We always want to be need 100% of the time. And when you can't, yet you still want to get that information, we're all staring. We got pointed, and Dylan was behind the screen here. What do I need to do? I don't even know. How about this? What? I just lost everything. There we go. Here's the cool thing to do. And I know not all of us are good with video and everything else. However, we all have the capability of taking a selfie. I know you've done it. You might not want to share it, but you've done it. Just do a little selfie video of you going through a couple of the sold areas, just like this, so you don't have to record your. It's really easy to do, and send that. Like, there are, as you just described, that action, the call to action. There's many ways to deliver that call to action, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have our Going Further Together Mastermind this Thursday. We will talk about it more in depth. I've got email templates that you guys can use to just copy and send out. And so that is PSN Coaching. Thank you. PSNcoaching.com/kickstart. Gary will, yeah, there you go. Gary will throw that up there. You can register for the mastermind. Like I said, it is on Thursday. And we will be covering that more in depth so you guys can see some of the strategy and walk away with some of the templates to just plug and play.
Excellent. Dylan, okay. Everybody, this was a great meeting. And I know, Jen, after the meeting, we've got the open house panel. And there are businesses strictly 100% built on open houses. And if you think, trust me, it's a dying kind of lead gen opportunity. However, it is such an opportunity. Take advantage of that. And my friends, we did a lot today. I appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate everyone online. And we'll see everybody at our May meeting. Bye for now.